Hello, I'm Jared, and at the moment, I am experiencing a panic attack. Um, I used to get them all the time um, in my 20s. Cat fight. I used to get them all the time in my 20s until I um, until I started to understand what they were and um, just accept that that was how my body reacted to stress. If the stress, rose above a certain threshold, and then I would find myself in a panic attack. In my case, my panic attacks mostly are nausea and runaway thoughts of worry, none of which are founded, and I know that, and yet my body still carries the reaction of the panic attack. And not being able to sleep, um, partly because of the nausea and being worried that if I lie down, I'm going to throw up, and partly the running thoughts of worry. Um, After my son was born, I didn't experience them very much at all. I would get bits and pieces now and then, but for the most part, um, since he was born, I didn't really have any problems particularly. And then, fairly recently, my wife had a hysterectomy, and I freaked out about that, and that's a fairly normal thing to freak out about. Um, Major surgery taken by someone that you love. Um, at the same time, I had health problems as well, not of that severity. I was on antibiotics for something that was uncomfortable, and um, after that course of antibiotics was done, there was the period of time during which I was supposed to convalesce and rest and so on. And I'm in that period at the moment. And yesterday, I was making a hot toddy because I have a cold in addition to the panic attack. And I was making the hot toddy, and I squeezed one of those bottles of honey into the glass, and I felt the that same discomfort that I was on the antibiotics for. And then the whole next day, I just puttered around the house and didn't think about it at all. And then I went to see Star Wars, and immediately thereafter went home and proceeded to freak out. Um, I hope that I will be able to sleep tonight. I hope that I will be able to eat more than a few mouthfuls of broth, even though I'll be, of course, really worried that I throw up. Um, Understanding that the panic attack is normal, well, sort of normal, and embrace the fact that it's how I responded to stress, that helped immeasurably um, for me to stop these panic attacks that I did have. Um, uh, I can remember having panic attacks and being wrapped up in a quilt and shuffling around the streets of the small town we lived in, downtown, wrapped up in the quilt from the bed at 2 in the morning downtown. Um, they don't do anything for you, you know. You don't get anything useful out of them, but yet the body reacts the way that the body reacts, and I'm stuck in it until I feel better and until the worry goes away, abates, and hopefully that new threshold of worry brought on by my wife's hysterectomy, and she's fine and doing well. But it ratcheted up my overall anxiety level to the point that I started to hit panic attacks again. About, little minor things. The old ones back in my 20s, I worried about, oh no, my cat's going to catch West Nile and other just silly, silly things. Um, that none of which made any sense. But my body didn't care if they didn't make any sense, and I was sick with worry. And at this moment, I am also sick with worry, although this time I don't know if it's necessarily about me still being uncomfortable after the antibiotics are done, or if it's about, huh, my wife suggested that it might have been just Star Wars and being saddened by the things that happen in Star Wars, but I don't know. In any case, I hope tonight that I will sleep, propped up on pillows, of course, but that I will sleep, and that when I am done sleeping, it will be morning instead of some absurd hour like 4 o'clock in the morning, which is when I usually will find myself waking up if I'm in a panic attack. And shuffling around the house and not able to do much of anything. Shuffling around the backyard. So, that is all, and this is Jared from Within a Panic Attack.